Let's take a trip around the curve. Amber Heard to launch new film In the Fire as part of the lineup at the Taormina Film Festival. Roku lands Chelsea Peretti's directorial debut, first-time film director from Amy Poehler's Paper Kite Productions. Amazon Freevee is to launch 12 MGM 11 Warner Brothers Discovery Fast channels. Elliot Page is set for Dominic Savage film Close to You. Stephen Caple Jr. is in talks to helm another Transformers. Treat Williams passed away. The Everwood star and original Grease cast member was 71, and Glenda Jackson, star of A Touch of Class, passed away this week as well. Ian McGregor and Alicia Vikander are to be honored at the 2023 Karlovy Vary Film Festival. Avatar 3 is delayed to 2025. Avatar 4 and Avatar 5 have pushed to 2029 and 2031, respectively. Thunderbolts, Blade, Avengers, Kang Dynasty, Secret Wars among Disney release date changes due to the WGA strike. Moana's live-action remake is set for a June 2025 release. Lionsgate Ender's Game arrives at August 8th on 4K Ultra HD, Blu-ray, and digital steelbook. Sarah Polley is in talks to direct a live-action Bambi for Disney. James Gunn confirmed Blue Beetle will be the first character in the new DC universe. Jason Bateman is set to star in and direct the 8-episode series adaptation of Daddy Ball. Blake Lively picture It Ends With Us has been paused by WGA pickets. Reports of Mission Impossible 8 stoppage is untrue. The film is still on schedule to resume shooting amid the writer's strike. Carrie Fisher's last film, Wonderwell, is getting released after a perilous 7-year journey. Giancarlo Esposito joins Radio Silence's Secret Monster movie at Universal. Bradley Cooper and Will Arnett are set to star in Is This Thing On for Searchlight. Mortal Kombat 2 rounds out its cast, adding Martin Ford, Desmond Chiam, Anna Tu Nguyen, and Damon Harriman, based on the blockbuster video game franchise. Lana Condor, Andrew Koji, Ross Butler, Sung Kang, Elodie Young, and others are set for the Tom Shu-yu indie rom-com Worth the Wait. Henry Cavill's spy thriller Argylle is set to open in theaters before their Apple TV Plus debut. Batman Brave and the Bold is set to be directed by Andy Muschietti. Susan Lucci and Maury Povich are named Lifetime Achievement honorees for the 2023 Emmy Awards. Jennifer Lee is not returning to direct Frozen 3. Extraction 3 is in the works at Netflix. And speaking of Extraction, I've got reviews for you guys for Extraction 2, the perfect find on Netflix, Asteroid City, and the entire cast of I'm A Virgo PLUS, surrounded with Letitia Wright. All of that and more is coming up on The Curvy Critic with Carla Renata right now.
Hold up. Wait a minute. I wish you love, peace, and hair grease.
Love, peace, and hair grease, y'all.
Yeah, you know I'm always shooting straight from the hip.
This is Carla Renata, a.k.a. The Curvy Critic, and I shoot straight from the hip.
Yeah, you know I'm always shooting straight from the hip.
Hi, everybody. Oh, let me move this up just a little bit. Hey, everybody. Happy Juneteenth weekend, honey. It's happy Juneteenth weekend. It's Father's Day. There's so many things happening this weekend, but hello and welcome back to a brand new episode of The Curvy Critic with Carla Renata. I've done literally over 500 episodes, and I have a big anniversary coming up sometime soon between my time at BHL and doing it here on my own channel. But welcome, welcome, welcome. Give me a big thumbs up to let me know that you were here. If this is your first time joining me, subscribe to the channel and click that bell for notifications if you are on YouTube. If you are on Twitter and LinkedIn, welcome. Glad to see you. Happy that you stopped by. All right. So having said that, I usually start the week or the episode out talking about what I did the week before. So let me tell you what I'm up to. There is a contest called Carla Hall Presents Favorite Chef. I am number 13 in the running for this. The voting ends on June 22nd, which is in just a couple of days. So for those of you who have already voted for me, thank you. For those of you who have not gotten around to it, I hope that you will pass it along and tell everybody that you know so they can tell everybody that they know so I can get this $25,000 and learn how to cook from Carla Hall. And what I will get is, like I said, $25,000, a 2-page advertorial in Taste of Home magazine, and a cooking experience with Carla Hall. You guys know her from the now defunct ABC TV cooking show, The Chew, and you've seen her on a variety of different TV chef host shows on Bravo and some other channels. But y'all, I really love to cook, and this would be the opportunity of a lifetime. I will put the link. The link is in my social media everywhere. If you see a picture of Carla Hall or a picture of a knife, the link is there. It's in my bio on all of my social media. So all you have to do is click. You can vote for free via Facebook, and you can vote. I think there's another way to vote, but I'm like, if it's free, it's me. So vote on Facebook, okay? Just vote on Facebook. All right. Having said that, I also went to this. So I went to the premiere of Indiana Jones. It was actually across the street, not at the El Capitan, but across the street at the Dolby Theater. And when I walked into the lobby of the Dolby Theater, this is what I saw, like at least 25 to 30 dudes dressed as Indiana Jones. It was pure comedy. They had the leather jackets, the hats, the satchels, the whips, the whole nine. And that picture there is me grabbing a picture of them trying to take a group picture themselves. And then all of the creatives were there, including George Lucas, Maestro John Williams, Harrison Ford, Kathleen Kennedy, Steven Spielberg, and the rest of the producing team. Phoebe Waller-Bridge was his leading lady in this one, and she did not disappoint. I'll talk about that later. But Harrison Ford, let me tell you something. You did the daggone thing. I also got this lovely bouquet of flowers from Everybody Dance LA. I told you a couple of weeks ago that I had written a piece for them that showed up in Variety, and they sent me a beautiful bouquet of flowers yesterday and said that my words captured the joy of the students at Everybody Dance LA, and they thanked me for taking time to learn about their mission and hope that I enjoyed their celebration that they graciously invited me to in order to cover the event. And I did enjoy the celebration, and I really wholeheartedly appreciate y'all inviting me because it was lovely and I had a great time. So today on the Curvy Critic with Carla Renata, we're going to talk about a couple of things. We're going to talk about Asteroid City, Surrounded, The Perfect Find, and Extraction 2. And I have the entire cast and creatives from the Amazon Prime series I'm a Virgo, which drops this week on June 23rd. So let's go back to Asteroid City and start with that, shall we? So, this is a new film by Wes Anderson, and it is an all star cast led by Scarlett Johansson and Jason Schwartzman. And when I tell you it's very strange, so let me just tell you what the premise is. The year is 1955, and what begins as a celebration and honor, or I'm sorry, what begins as a celebration to honor the achievements of the junior stargazers, they receive an unexpected alien visitor. Asteroid City is locked down, and a fake cover story is concocted by the Army, but the precocious geniuses that are there for the Stargazers thing plan to get the word outside to the outside world. Are you with me so far? Okay. Meanwhile, back east, the characters of Asteroid City are on stage preparing a play that is called Asteroid City. It is here that we venture backstage into the lives of the performers circa 1955. Remember, I said it takes place in 1955? The theater actors are polishing their craft, soon to become stars. And Anderson's examination of complex family, relationships, new romances, parents, children, secrets, discoveries, and outwitting adults are crazily crafted and mapped out. Now, having said all of that, let me tell you what I thought about this movie. This movie's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs crazy, but it is in classic Wes Anderson style. And if you are a fan of his filmmaking, he has a very definitive style that he uses with all of his films. They all have like this, it's, I can't even describe what it is, but it's like some kind of film or something over the lens that allows him to make the picture look like it's shot in a different time and not in this time, if that makes any sense. He uses a lot of tones of pastel and muted brown colors to make it actually look like a 1955 postcard. There is a lot of rapid fire dialogue happening, and it's usually rapid fire scenes between two people where they're using one word going back and forth. And if you're not paying attention, you will miss it. There's a couple of those scenes, those rapid fire scenes that happen between Tom Hanks Tom Hanks and Jason Schwartzman, because Jason Schwartzman and Scarlett Johansson are the ones who lead this all-star cast. You know, I love me some Tom Hanks, so I can't resist talking about him. But this film is it's a lot. It's a lot going on, and if you are not paying attention, you will miss everything about it. But it is in theaters right now, and yeah, I think that's all I'm going to say about Asteroid City. Yeah, it's in theaters right now. Um, and like I said, if you're a Wes Anderson fan, you will love it. And if you're not, I feel your pain. Having said that, let me talk about this other film that dropped over the weekend. It's called Surrounded. So what Surrounded is, it dropped. I'm sorry, it didn't drop this weekend. My bad. It drops in 2 days on June 20th. It's a Western. It's an MGM Western directed by Anthony Mandler, and it is starring Letitia Wright, Michael K. Williams in one of his last films, Jamie Bell pictured there with Letitia. And Letitia is not only the lead actress on this, but she is a producer on it as well. So it picks up 5 years after the end of the Civil War, where this former soldier named Mo Washington disguises herself as a man while traveling west to lay claim on a gold mine. After thieves ambush her stagecoach, she's forced to guard a legendary outlaw while surviving passengers look for help. A battle of will ensues, blurring the line between captor and captive, and both try to survive the harsh landscape. So, what I have to say about this film is a lot. There's a lot of the scenes shot at night, and I think the director may have been, I'm not sure what his ethnicity is. I'm assuming that it's white, because the people that are in this movie that are black, they blackety black. And they shoot a lot of scenes at night. And you can't, like, there's literally one scene where all you can see of Michael K. Williams is his eyes. And that's a personal pet peeve of mine. I hate watching television projects, film projects, any kind of project where black people are not lit right. Now, you can see Jamie clear as day, but you can't see Michael K. Williams and Letitia Wright 3/4 of the time, and that bothered me. Um, Andrew Pagana wrote this original spec script in 24 after he visited a museum in Abilene, Texas, where the Old West, about the Old West, where he learned that every county or town didn't have a sheriff. So there's that. And then if the criminal was captured, they would have to tie him to a tree and wait a week for the sheriff to show up, which is pretty much the premise of this film. Pagana saw a movie that in the story of that inspired this script. And so originally it was supposed to be two men starring in this film, a black not a black woman and a man. So I kind of love the fact that he made that adjustment. And there's a thing in history that I didn't know about, where black women oftentimes after the Civil War ended, which meant after slavery, right? They would dress up as buffalo soldiers and fight alongside white people in the Indian War. So the white people had the black people and the Indians fighting against each other. Why am I not surprised by that? But I was surprised to learn about that part of history, because, again, this was something that was not taught when I was in school. Letitia has been producing a lot of projects lately. The last thing that she produced was The Silent Twins, and I'm really at a loss as to why her films don't get traction. You don't hear about them. They're excellent films. They're excellently acted. They're superbly produced, and I just don't understand what's going on with her. So anybody that happens to be listening to this or hear me talk about this, I'm gonna need y'all to give Letitia Wright a little more love and a little more PR on her projects. Jamie plays this character that kind of emulates a Jesse James, Billy the Kid kind of character, and he's despicable. So when he meets his demise at the hands of Mo Washington, I wanted to jump out of my seat and turn cartwheels. A great deal of this film takes place with Tommy, aka Jamie, tied to a tree. That's what I said earlier. And just a side note, has nothing to do with the film, but Michael K. Williams and Anthony, the director, had worked together quite a bit. They'd known each other since The Wire. And what I did like, the film to encapsulize, this film is a slow drag, and it's kind of one notice for most of the film. But what I do like about it is the message of women taking their destiny into their own hands, right? Because that was in the Wild West. There was during a time where if you had land and your husband died, you couldn't own the land, because everything was about the husband and the men, and women didn't have rights. So I kind of like the fact that Anthony was leaning into that um, story in order to tell this film. But it was lit too dark for me, and it was a little bit of a slow drag. But I did enjoy the film. I did enjoy the film. I just had issues with the lighting and the pace. So again, it's called Surrounded. It drops in theaters on June 20th, and it's an MGM joint, right? So the next one I want to talk about is this film called The Perfect Find. That's a horrible picture, and I apologize. But it's now streaming on Netflix. It's been up for a couple of days. It's directed by Nina Perrier. The script is by Lee Davenport and based on a novel by Tia Williams. Tia Williams is a best-selling author who is also the author of another book called Accidental Diva. And so this book, The Perfect Find, was adapted into a film for Netflix starring Gabrielle Union. So this is the gist of it. After a whole high profile firing, Jenna, who's played by Gabrielle Union, her fashion career comeback hits a snag when she falls for a charming, much younger co-worker played by Keith Powers, who just happens to be her boss, played by Gina Torres' son. Baby, as the sparks fly, as they do when there's chemistry, Jenna has to decide if she's going to risk it all regarding her career or take a chance on this secret romance. Now, what I have to say about this is very simple and to the point. Gabrielle Union, much like Jennifer Lopez, they thrive when they're in rom-coms. They're so, so good because their comic timing coupled with their command of dramatic skills is just right on the money. I love seeing Gabrielle Union in rom-coms, and she thrives best in that genre for me. Having said that, it's a mostly cute and mostly predictable film, and I'm sure they had to adapt some things from the book to make it workable for Netflix. But, it's cute and it's predictable. And the biggest lesson that they give us is that age is nothing but a number. And in the end, love prevails. So if you are like Dion Cole likes to call us, if you are a seasoned lady and you find yourself attracted to a much younger man, if you have an attraction and you want to explore what that is a little further beyond the attraction, don't let your age get in the way, right? Love is love, honey. That's all I got to say about that. Let me go to these comments. I know that Brandon was in here for a minute, and he told me that he saw Elemental last week, and it was a very solid Pixar movie. Yes, it was. And he says that he can't wait to see Ruby Gilman in 2 weeks. I will be seeing that, so I'll talk to you about that. Thank you, Brandon, for stopping by. You always do, and you bring me love, and I love you for that. So having said that, let's get into the next film, which is Extraction 2. So Chris Hemsworth stars in this film. It's streaming on Netflix right now. It's directed by Sam Hargrave and no, I'm sorry, it's produced by Sam Hargrave and it's directed by Joe Russo. If that name sounds familiar, Joe Russo and his brother rather have done a lot of Marvel joints, and so they're mostly identified with that. But I keep wanting to say Netflix. Extraction 2 is takes place after Tyler, because there was another one. So Extraction 2. So Tyler, after being presumed dead, returns for another high stakes mission. This film is very high octane. It's very much in the lane of, a Fast and Furious, a Mission Impossible. It's got that kind of vibe going on with it. Chris Hemsworth, he thrives in this film. He thrives in this genre. His stunts are absolutely fabulous. They are ridiculously dangerous and heart-stopping. And the premise is that in addition to what I've already stated, his sister-in-law is being held in a prison against her will, along with her kids, and her sister, who is his ex-wife, has hired him without him knowing that she had anything to do with it, to save his sister-in-law, but he doesn't know that his sister-in-law until he sees her. I know, confusing as hell, but that's the premise of the film. Having said all of that, what I will tell you is that it's a great film. I didn't have any issues with the pacing. I didn't have any issues with the acting. It's shot beautifully. And there's lots of moments where they're in tunnels and things, and the lighting is right on the money. So I will give all kinds of props to Joe Russo for that. He's no stranger to shooting these types of things, so I'm not surprised that he was able to pull that off. Having said that, the little boy that plays his nephew in this film, that plays Chris Hemsworth's nephew, I want to snatch a knot in his little ass. He's one of them little kids that when you tell them not to do something and then they do it anyway, and you already know what the results are going to be, and then they find out what the results are going to be, and then they're all like, I'm sorry, but you didn't have to be sorry if you hadn't done it in the first place. Just saying. But that just goes to show you that little actor acted his booty off, because I believed him, and I want to snatch him. Ooh, I want to snatch him. Anyway, and this is a huge film that ultimately gives the message of, sometimes when you are in these high octane, emotional situations, it's better to lead with judgment and not emotion. And that way nobody gets killed. So that is the deal with Extraction 2. Now, I talked to y'all about this TV series that's coming on Amazon Prime Video on June 23rd. It's called I'm a Virgo. It's crazy as hell. I will tell you the premise of it when we come back, but I do have an interview with the entire cast and creatives. So I'll go ahead and play that now, and I'll come back and talk about the series afterwards. Take a look and a listen to Jarrell Jerome, Carmine Jogo, and the cast of I'm a Virgo. I heard y'all saying y'all love that.
I love that. Curvy. Anything curvy.
Did you want to go start the interview without acknowledging that? No, honey, no. Let's get into it, shall we? This series is so wild and crazy, and I love that y'all are part of it. But it has such deep rooted meaning underneath it, which is like a signature of Boots's work. But there was something that Jones said that I want to talk to you guys about. She says people save themselves and don't need to wait for a savior or a hero. How do you think that ideology fits in with the state of where Black people and women are today?
Wow, what a question. I feel like it really does apply, because I do feel like there's this notion that someone has to help us. And, I feel like us as a culture, we tried that all the time. Dating back to the 50s, the 60s, we tried asking for help. We tried asking to be a part. We tried asking for equality. And I feel like right now it's so inspiring to see, you said specifically Black women. I read something the other day. It was on Twitter, so I don't know if this is true, so don't, but it was saying that Black women are the most highly educated group in America right now. And to me, it's just like we are climbing out ourselves. And there's a trajectory that no one can stop. And although we are appreciative and, asking for support and help, it's coming, whether they like it or not. So that was radical, but I feel like it's perfect for where we are right now.
I don't have parents who grew up here in the States. My parents are from, Jamaica. So I feel like for me growing up, I always got to hear whether it was, we're talking about like civil rights and all that stuff, and like slavery and stuff. I've always been the person on the outside, just sort of, looking at both sides. And I think it's, we're done being victims. I feel like, we're ready to kind of just DIY, do it yourself,
Exactly.
We're doing it ourselves. Yeah, exactly. So
you said DIY. I love you for that. And your characters are so much the friends that accept people for who they are, meet them where they are, and support and love them anyway. Do you feel that you personally are that type of individual?
Yep.
And that's it.
Yep. Judgment is not for us.
Yeah. I don't feel like I grew up with that quality in me.
Same.
Just like, oh, he's cool, I look for deeper things, than like the surface level things. So yeah. Even if it takes time, I'm pretty patient in real life. So I think like even when it comes to Scat, even Scat's relationship to Cootie, it takes a second, you know, and they make a real connection when he realizes like, oh, we got something in common, like, oh, cool, you know, and he's like overjoyed and he goes out of his way to do these things for his friend. So I think that definitely relates back to like real life, you know.
Totally. I'm kind of the opposite where it doesn't take me as much time. I actually like can see someone's differences and jump right in. I'm all for it, all with it. I want to know everything about it. And until you try me.
You try me, you are funny. Just to close it out, I just have to say that I truly am a Virgo. I'm 16. I'm a Virgo for real. I know that Brett is a Leo, but Elias, I couldn't find your sign. What sign are you?
Ooh, now it's out here. I'm a Capricorn, so we're Earth gang for sure, you know?
Yeah.
Why you turned up your nose? You like?
No, I'm kidding. I just be messing with Elias.
love you. I'm his favorite person.
Yes.
Y'all were so much fun. Thank you so much for the gift of I'm a Virgo, your performances in it, and for giving me a slice of your time today. I really appreciated it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Carla.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, so I screwed up. And I actually have, that was just one of the interviews, and that was with Brett and Elias. But I actually have the interview with the entire cast and creators. And as soon as it uploads in this app, I will play it for you. But while that's doing that, let me tell you what I'm a Virgo is about. I said it was directed by Boots Riley, and it's a comedy. And right now it has a 100% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. And it deals with let me find it over here. It deals with So it deals with let me move this over. It deals with a coming of age joyride about Cootie, who is a 13-foot tall black man. Just let that sink in. He's 13 foot tall and he black. Who escapes to experience the beauty and contradictions of the real world. He forms friendships, finds love, navigates awkward situations, and encounters his idol named the hero. These are the people that are in the show. Jarrell Jerome, who you guys might remember from When They See Us, he won the Emmy Award for his role in that, playing one of the exonerated five. Brett Gray and Elias, who you just saw in that interview. Olivia Washington, who is actually the daughter of Paulette Washington and Denzel Washington. Kara Young, who was just nominated for a Tony. She did not win last week, but she was nominated, and that's doing something. Carmen Ejogo, who you might remember from Sparkle, and one of the producers I interviewed as well. So having said that, it's really crazy. And it talks about how this 13-foot, it's like a magical tale about this 13-foot giant teenager is just joyously bold. The way it's shot is crazy, and that's totally in line with how Boots Riley does his projects. He always shoots stuff a little off kilter, and that's what makes his projects very interesting to watch. I don't review these types of projects simply because I'm on television in shows. So I think it's unfair of me to review television projects, but I don't have no problem telling you all about it and letting you watch them and get your giggle on or whatever that you want to get on in the process of watching these projects. But I also want to say that I really enjoy, I'm trying to fill time, honey, while this thing is processing, because I'll play it in 2 seconds. And I'm sorry, because in the amount of time I'm rambling on, it could have played. The joys of self-producing is always so much fun, not? Oh my God. Okay, so while all of that's going on, maybe I should just tell you what's going to come up next week. So while we're waiting for this file to process, oh, never mind. It has processed, and then I'll come back and tell you. So take a look and listen, this time for real, with the cast and creators of I'm a Virgo. I just want to know, what was it that enticed you to jump on board to this project? Because it feels like a really big departure from other things I know you've worked on, like the morning show and Pachinko.
So I saw Sorry to Bother You at the Sundance Film Festival when it debuted, and was blown away by it, and I thought Boots is one of the most original artists I've come across in forever, and chased him hard, to be honest, and said, I think you should make a series, and your vision of the world, within a large expanded canvas would be incredible, and what he could do with it. And fortunately, he agreed that it'd be awesome. And so, and I think there's commonality between the other shows. We always like to do shows that have something unique to say about the world and the world we live in, are ambitious visually and create a world that an audience can enter that they haven't been in before. Chinko certainly was that. Morning Show in its own way was that. And Boots is one of those filmmakers who I think can take an audience to places they never imagined they would go to. And you're a few episodes into the show, you cannot believe where you've gotten to. But I think audiences are going to be dazzled by the experience.
Hey, Jarrell, how you doing?
Good, Carla. Good to see you. How are you?
It's good to see you too. I'm digging the background. It's all nice and clean and fluffy.
I feel like we're on a little vacation over here. It's not, though. Not a vacation.
Hilarious. I can't with you right now. Dude, you always bring it no matter what project you are in. You bring it. And I was there for all of this. So I'm literally a Virgo. I was born on September 16th on my daddy's birthday at the same time he was. And you're a Libra, right?
Yeah, I'm a Libra, right.
Do you get into astrology at all?
I'm not the astrology person, which is super ironic that I'm a part of this. But I definitely dove into it a bit more when I got into the project. Definitely try to study what a Virgo was, look up the traits of a Virgo and incorporate it as much as I can, because I know how accurate it is. That
part, because there's one, you at various times you quote, you say I'm a Virgo, I'm an organizer. I'm a Virgo, I'm Virgo. This. Okay, He got it, because we are very organized. We are totally those people.
So, I'm a Taurus. My birthday's May 11th. I definitely have Taurus-like characteristics. And I think for good and for bad, all things, our strengths are our weaknesses and vice versa. So,
Olivia, you're an Aries, but Kara, I can find your sign. What sign are you?
I'm a Sagittarius.
So you do believe, because she said that yes, I believe in astrology because I'm a Sagittarius.
We're both fire signs. That's it. I don't know. I know a little bit about astrology. I have friends. I have people who know more, and I ask them things.
He said I have people. You got people. Listen, people, check my sign.
I just got people. I call them
funny. Y'all are funny. I want to talk to you about this quote that Jones has. She says something like, people save themselves and don't need to wait for a savior or a hero. How do you think that ideology fits in with the state of where Black people and women are today?
I think it kind of encaptures the state we're in today, because often it feels like we're alone in the fight. We have a fight to put up, and we have our quote unquote enemies, but it don't even feel like it sometimes, because what we do almost feels like we get nowhere, and we kind of take a step forward, then two steps back. So it's almost a haunting line, thinking about how we could be our own heroes if we tried. But at the same time, we are forced to be our own heroes, and we are forced to wear our own capes. So I do love that line a lot. And yeah.
You know what I find to be quite amazing recently? We always talk about women being the strong Black leads, if you will, and us having to be strong. And I love this, saving ourselves, meaning we don't have to be strong. We can be soft, and we can enter in scenarios and maybe not know the answer and not save the day, but bring what qualities that we might have in that moment. So I feel like that is how we take care of ourselves and we champion ourselves into the future, not having to hold things on our shoulders that are not our responsibilities, but taking ownership and taking your own space for what you need in any moment.
I want to second what Olivia just said. And I also think there's something about that vulnerability that really does come through with Jones. I think that she wears her heart on her sleeve, and that it's as if that's it's just, there's a word for it. It's translucent, but there's another word that I'm not finding right now. But it's as if, through our vulnerability that we can literally make a difference in somebody else's life. It's like, who knows? Like me allowing myself to go there can allow someone else to go there,
Frankly, I don't know that I'd have this kind of capacity in myself as an individual that can operate autonomously, or as a woman that can operate autonomously, if I didn't have a support system in my mother, in my grandmother, in some really strong females that I came up through, with and on their shoulders. So, I think they kind of work hand in hand, and I never lose sight of the fact that even if I have found a way to be very sort of like open-minded, critical thinking, that not everyone has that capacity, and that I still have a responsibility to help usher them into a space of safety, into a space of being saved, whatever it looks like, whatever piece I can play in that. I do think I still have an obligation. So that's just my take on it.
Yeah, out of all the episodes, that line was the one that just really kind of grabbed me.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like Cootie and Flora have more in common than they have differences. Do you think that that's where their attraction lies? She's a little fast. There's a line where she says, I'm a little fast, you're a little slow. So how do you feel about that?
Yeah, opposites attract right there. I think they do have, it's so cool. I think they do have so much in common. From being an outcast, from being an outsider, from just having a different upbringing and not fully understanding the powers that they possess, but knowing that they have some sort of power. But at the same time, they're also so different. And I think that's what makes them so unique together. Flora is very grounded and she knows exactly what she wants and how to get it. And Cootie pretends he knows. I think Cootie's very good at thinking he knows what the right choice is and going for it, but it kind of coming off a little funny. That's why I played around with the face when I was flirting around with Flora. I think Cootie believes that this is the face that is going to work for her, but then it ends up looking silly, but it ends up being what Flora really likes about him, is that he is this charming, weird, off-centered human being who also is just huge, 13 feet tall. And so I think their differences and their similarities definitely make them a very relatable relationship that people can watch and be like, oh, I've been in a relationship like this.
And just to lighten it up a little bit, I know that you sing. I saw you in Sparkle. You're a fabulous singer, and you're singing a little bit in the series, kind of humming. I heard you, girl. But as a singer, what song would you use to define your character and the love that she has for Cootie?
My first instinct, like for no good reason in a way, was like, you made me feel like a natural woman. But that's like a love song, right? About really, it has to be about lovers. And clearly that's not the relationship here. But I do think that Cootie brings out this sort of maternal, natural, sort of like feminine energy that makes her the protector that she wants to be, the leader that she needs to be, and just to kind of like be there for her in that sort of very female way. So that was the only song that came to mind. But yeah, none of the songs in Sparkle are going to be appropriate.
I said that. And then they started rolling. I was like, yeah, that's not appropriate. But anyway, thank you so much for your time, Carmen. I loved you in this. I love you in everything you do. I'm a huge fan. But thank you for giving me some of your time today. I appreciate you.
Thanks for the good questions.
You're welcome. Bye. But I think that is the perfect place to stop. Thank you so much, Kara and Olivia, for giving me your time. I adored you in the series. Both of your characters were really fire, very strong, and very prolific, and I enjoyed them both.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. I'll see you next time.
Bye. Have a good one.
Bye. Well, you make every character that you inhabit relatable. I'm so proud of you. And I'm so happy. Yes, of course. And I'm so happy you took some time out of your schedule to speak to me. I really do appreciate it.
Of course, and vice versa. Thank you so much.
I love all of those actors. They're very grounded. They're very real, and they're very, very good. And I'm a Virgo, which hits Prime Video on June 23rd. Don't forget about what I told you at the beginning of the episode about this favorite chef thing. You can find all of the links to vote for me on my social media. Again, it's Carla Hall's favorite chef. In addition to that, I just want to recap what I talked about this week. Don't forget to check out Surrounded, Asteroid City, Extraction 2, The Perfect Find, and I'm a Virgo. Next week, you guys, I'm finally going to be able to talk about what? Indiana Jones. I'll be able to give you my review of Indiana Jones next week. And in addition to that, I will be talking about a documentary called Everybody. I have interviews with the subjects of the documentary and the director, who is also the Academy Award nominated director of RBG, among other things, Miss Julie Cohen. I'll have Liza Koji from the film called Ruby Gilman and the Ruby Gilman Teenage Kraken. And I'll also have a review of Nimona, which will be it's an anime movie, which will be streaming on Netflix. So having said that, thank y'all for coming by and hanging with us, sister. I appreciate you. In spite of my snafu that made my show go 10 minutes longer than it needed to be. Thanks for popping in real time. Thanks for popping in. If you were seeing this after the fact, I appreciate you. I adore you. And I can't do this without you watching it. So thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. A very, very heartfelt thanks. Thanks for leaving me comments on the videos when you see them after the fact. I appreciate that too, because I always answer back. All right. So having said that, I hope you have a wonderful Juneteenth celebration. You have a wonderful week. Wash them hands, keep them clean. And we getting ready in 2 weeks for July 4th. So we're going to talk about that in a little bit too. But thank you again for stopping by. So until the next time, deuces, love, peace, and hair grease, baby. And I'll see you on the flip side. Bye.